It's hard out here. And you talking about, oh, I'm not a man if I'm going 50-50 with my woman. It's hard, brother. You sitting up here, your nice house, your nice jewelry, nice cars. Oh yeah, man, you gotta do 100%. How? How, brother? If I'm making $14 an hour, what you expect? You know, you still on there. Oh yeah, man, 100%. You're not a man. You're not a man. How? I'm still working. I'm still providing, right? So what makes me not a man? Because I'm going 50-50 with my woman.
And brother, I applaud you because I understand that it is hard out here, but we are men, so we have to go harder. I'm not saying or trying to speak down to you, my brother, by any means necessary. I'm not. But I want you to be reminded of something that our fathers didn't teach us, that we must go hard and that we shouldn't get into a relationship with a woman until we have direction.
But who are you to say that?
A person that cares, a person that loves you, a person that's been in your shoes and understands how it feels when we can't give our family what they truly deserve. We have to go hard. Now, give me one moment. I've been in your shoes. And when I was in your shoes, I stayed in my lane. I lived where I lived. My woman didn't work. She nurtured to the children till I got this. And I'm trying to give you the cheat code. Do what you need to do so you can feed your woman, and while she's nurturing the children, she can also nurture your dreams and your goals. Now you can be successful. Now you don't have to say, I'm working for $15. Now you can say, I got employees that I'm paying that's working for me for $15. I'm trying to elevate you, but men get so caught up in their emotions and their pride, and the first thing you want to do is feel attacked. Get the wisdom.
This is coming from a rich man.
But right now you're acting triggered. But right now you're acting triggered.
But this is coming from a rich man.
But how did I get here?
Yeah.
But how do I give you? And I'm giving you the steps. This is, if you put down your ego, if you put down your pride, brother, am I saying anything wrong? I'm saying men should be men.
But you saying we not men. You saying we not men.
Brother, any man that makes an excuse.
Yo, what's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of the ITZPodcast. It is your boy, B. Foster. B. Foster is in the building. But that looked like, I'm going to be honest, that's the first time I've even seen that thing. Like, it's been all over the socials for weeks. I just refused to watch it because I don't give a shit. But that looked like it was about to get heated.
I mean, that clip is 14 minutes. That's about as high as it got. Mm-hmm. Because 50-50 dude, and I'm sorry I do not know your name.
I'm sure he ain't watching.
he did. You don't know who's watching. Jay-Z could be watching. Shout out to Jay-Z. I don't think he had the emotional stamina to be able to have that conversation eloquently. He got emotional and shut down. It was unfortunate. It's not a good day to be men. Not that clip. Woo. Ugh. Yikes.
Not a good day to be an average man.
Oh, well, shit. Oh.
Okay. Well, let's get into it. Hey, y'all.
Oh, my gosh.
We jump right to the conversation. What's going on, guys? It's your boy, Brian. Welcome to another episode of the ITZPodcast. Thank you all for joining us. As always, my lovely co-hostess, Chantel, is on my side. What's going on, lady?
Nothing. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I have been fascinated by this clip since last week. I have watched that clip at least 30 times.
Really?
And I walk away with a different question every time I watch it. It's fascinating.
Okay. All right.
Clearly, I'm the only one in this room that was as fascinated about that.
It was my first time seeing it too, so I went.
Yeah. I knew the conversation existed, but I had never seen the clip.
Yeah,
fascinating.
And
I usually catch stuff like that. So.
I saw it. I didn't see it.
I didn't care.
I didn't. And then on my left, joining us again, circling back to on a new episode. My guy, Dewan. What's happening, baby?
What's up, Frat? 06.
06 in this move.
I can't 06.
You cannot. Don't get punched in the head.
Hey, goddamn it. Grayson can do it. I can do it.
Grayson is a minor.
Y'all gonna punch me? You know how many times I've 119 and people responded?
Yeah, I don't care. I could give a shit.
Now, if I was younger, it would have been a problem.
Why you gotta fight me? We old.
No, I said if I was younger.
Our bones hurt and stuff.
When you first played, you don't like people,
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
Then y'all over it now?
Yeah, I never cared about women doing shit. Anyway, so Sean, this was your idea. This was your topic. I I want to preface this conversation
Man,
before we even start by saying this. Whatever works for you, do that shit.
Why? Since when do we caveat our messages?
Today. Since whatever works for you and your household, do that shit. Forget my opinion, forget their opinion, forget their opinion. Whatever works for you and yours, that's what you do. That being said, we're about to argue. Go ahead.
What are we arguing
We're definitely about to argue. Right.
And I have a bit of a cough, so excuse me.
You're fascinated.
I don't know. I'm fascinated. Okay. So, I must actually start with the question that I have every time I see this clip. And I didn't send it as the run of show because I wasn't sure if I was going to ask it. But since it's just the three of us, I think it's a fascinating thing to get into, right? So, first of all, we didn't even introduce our guest.
I did introduce him.
You did?
You were sitting right here when I
06,
introduced
damn
him.
it. I'm sick, sorry. All right.
Yeah, it's going to be that type of show.
So, and I'm sober, which is even more
Yeah.
terrifying. So, I spend a lot of time on Facebook, more time than I wish to admit. And I regularly see men talk about how women emasculate them, right? We emasculate y'all by talking about your dicks and your wallets and your house and your shoe size or whatever. There's this whole bunch of emasculating going on from woman to man. Yet we don't talk very often about man-to-man emasculation.
Wow.
So my opening question was, and maybe I don't understand emasculation, was that a demonstration of man-to-man emasculation? Be false? I know we usually start with our guest, but he looked like he got something interesting to say.
No. First of all,
Yes.
man-to-man emasculation is shit talking. All right? That's what we do.
That's true.
We aim to emasculate each other every time we get into a conversation, a disagreement, a debate, because that's how we're built.
Gotta one up one another.
It's all shits and giggles and fun most of the time.
But that though.
That I don't feel was emasculating. I think he clearly said, he was telling the brother, I'm giving you the tools to get a leg up. I'm telling you what I did, how I struggled, how I got into my piece. So you can do the same. He never once said, "Nah, you ain't shit. You'll never be a real man." I'm just talking about the clip I just saw.
Actually, he gets to a point where he says he has no direction.
Okay.
That is why where he is where he is.
Does he have direction?
I don't know that man.
I want to ask, and Shine saw the whole video. I didn't hear him giving him no direction on how to get to where he was.
That is also accurate.
Well, I can only speak to what the man said in the video, the clip that we saw. He said, "I'm trying to give you the tools." Whether in the other 15 minutes he gave him any, I don't know.
I think his only tool was, and he does say this, that you need to figure out a way to provide for your household and allow your woman to nurture the house.
Okay.
That was most of his advice. Now, I assume that was a much longer interview where maybe they shared some stuff before or after. I don't know. But really, the real thing he said in there was, your woman needs to stay home. She's only really going to love you if she stays home. She can't really respect you.
Wow.
If she's working. Yes, he does say that.
Wow.
Go to YouTube. You will see him say that. And the man shut down. He didn't know what to do. 50-50 man totally just like short-circuited.
Well, then, if that's the case, yes. That was emasculation. That was an attempted emasculation.
Yeah.
I'd have been like, see, but you can't come at me with no shit like that. You can't come to me with that.
Well, first of all, you have money.
No, I'm not saying that. Even if I didn't, I'd be like, no.
Also, this point is also important. He makes $14 an hour.
First, whatever I make,
just throwing it out there.
Whatever I'm doing, I got a woman, right? I'd be like, no. Your woman wouldn't love you unless you provided that, because you probably suck otherwise. I have a lot of other things I bring to the table besides that.
Why you getting emotional?
So I'm just saying that the man couldn't come to me with that bullshit.
So I got a question or a comment. Yeah, we talked about some of my past history on the show before.
We certainly did.
This is why you're here.
So
you have been a man. Just to catch refresh everybody's memories, DeJuan had a wife that he did support, and she was a stay-at-home wife, which I'm trying to figure out how she talked you into that. But that's another show for another day.
But originally she did not. So when I was starting my first business, let's put it like that, she worked. When I started my first business, she was working. And after I got up and running and money was starting to flow, a few years in, I gave her the opportunity or suggested that she could stay at home. And she still wanted to work for at least another couple of more years. So I was just about to say, what do you do in a situation where you can provide, but the person wants to continue to work.
Let them work.
I know, but we're talking about 50-50 and the whole.
Let me just say this. Since Brian put a caveat at the front, I honestly have zero opinion about
But
this,
that's how
right?
I was looking at you, right?
Because I don't, first of all, being a man is always incredibly convoluted to me. There's always these benchmarks that don't make sense and all these weird milestones and things you can and can't. It's too much for me, for my little woman brain to handle. So I do not step in the realm of what is and is not a man. I just don't.
Yeah.
However, what I am fascinated what I'm fascinated with is that, and I think that's what I'm interested in, right? Mm-hmm. Men do regularly emasculate each other.
We do.
And you all tolerate each other with that.
Yes.
However, if women do it, y'all get emotional.
It doesn't sting like when you all do it.
Because when y'all do it, it's more of a you ain't shit type of a.
He basically told that nigga he wasn't shit.
So guys can handle it from another guy, not handling it from your woman.
He did a very poor job of handling it.
Well, yeah,
he was on the verge of tears.
He did. He was.
Go watch that clip. He was literally on the verge of tears.
That's less about what dude was saying and more about how he feels about his situation.
About himself, right.
I would agree.
And my man just put it on a platter for him to see it and held it up to him and he didn't like what
But then he didn't give any suggestions on how he can get out of it.
I don't disagree with that. Outside of he has to just suck it up and take care of the house. And at one point he also told him, like, if you got one job and ain't enough, get two. If two ain't enough, get three. I would literally never said that.
One thing I did 2 jobs in college. Would never do that as an adult. You're still not getting ahead.
I did 2 jobs. I did get ahead, but I did have 2 jobs. That shit's hard.
Women are different from men. We spend more money.
Why you have 2 jobs?
Right.
I had 2 jobs because Brian Foster talked me in the house.
I sure did.
How long ago was
it? I was 2 years ago.
Oh, that was recent.
It was very recent.
She was making good money on both of them.
That's a difference. I was in college, and you
making your $12 an hour.
Yeah, these were mediocre jobs. So, yeah.
So that's what I'm really fascinated on. Just these conversations between men, and I guess that's another interesting point, right? What is that something to even get from that conversation?
See, the problem
right?
is you got 2 people who are fairly successful. You need somebody broke on the show as well.
Okay, I'll be the broke dude.
Hey, first of all, why got engineer pull his hand up, dude? Don't subscribe to this. You are fine.
You are fine.
You right. That's okay.
What's the question then?
I missed my damn question. All right, let's get to the title card, right?
Right.
Duan, are you a man if you go 50-50?
Yes, I think you are.
Well, okay.
We just had this. I think it depends on your financial situation.
Yeah, we had that off camera.
Right.
We had to have it on camera.
So it just depends on what your financial situation is. If you're not in a situation like he was making, $14 or $15 an hour, and you're in a relationship, you two should help each other carry the bills. He can't carry the weight.
So my question becomes, why would a man use that as a benchmark for manhood?
It's not. I think it's society. I don't think it's just men. I think society expects us to do certain things.
Well, wait a minute. I just saw a clip where there was a penis carrying fellow milestone and a man saying you're not a man. My question is, why would a man subscribe to that societal norm and then push that same narrative or that same patriarchy, because that's what it is, right, as a reason to emasculate another man? Why would he do that?
To make himself, I guess, feel bigger.
Okay.
In that situation.
How analytical there?
Yeah, he's just bigger than this. I mean,
B. Let's get a little analytical.
So, we don't even really have to be. This is pretty simple.
Right.
It's simple? Okay.
This is pretty simple. So, men created this dichotomy, this hierarchy, this structure around finances and control.
Could you please tell Chris, the critic, this? Shout out to Chris.
Because that's where they controlled shit, right? So it was easier to subjugate women to these roles and responsibilities that men wanted them to fall into because they control capital.
Right.
Once these things have been established in society, once these norms have been set, it's hard to break them. Which is why it's such a big deal about this 50-50 and what a man's supposed to do and what a woman's supposed to do and blah, 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 blah. Though over time, what a woman's supposed to do is shift it. And we've had this conversation before.
have. That is very true.
And what a man is supposed to do necessarily hasn't.
I
And
agree.
that's where the bumping of the heads collides, right? So I think that, to answer your question, is a man if he's doing 50-50? If we're talking about strictly financial, sure. But where a man has to also do 50-50, if that's the case, is in every other thing. He has to carry his emotional weight. He has to carry his intelligence weight. He has to carry his weight with the kids. He has to carry his weight around the house. He has to carry all these other bags that supposedly the woman is supposed to carry. This has to be a shared responsibility all the way around. If he's doing all that, if he's doing dishes and dropping off at daycare and changing diapers and doing it and it's supporting you emotionally, mentally, spiritually, right? But you all are splitting the finances, that makes him less of a man? So he's supposed to do all that and pay all the bills?
Well, no. If I'm understanding this man, right? If I'm understanding Yada, because that's his name, or Yoda, I don't know how to say his name. Sir. Man's responsibility is to make the coin and build the house. Or not build the house, but secure all of that, right? The woman's responsibility is everything else. Cooking and cleaning and rearing the kids and taking care of him. That's their responsibility. So he has a very clear delineation between what he's supposed to do and what she's supposed to do, and there is, from what I understand, there is zero overlap.
That's him though. I'm talking. Let's not focus on the one dude. We're talking about this in generalities. We're talking about this globally. Well, not globally, at least nationally, right? So his idea is, and some people's idea is that. I guess my question then becomes, I want to reverse that. Yeah. So I'm going to bring you into this conversation.
Dear God, we're not supposed to be talking about women.
But yeah, we are, because I can't have the conversation with one without the other. Is that what most women want?
What?
Cook, 50, clean, take care of the kids. 50, 50. No. I don't. Do they want?
No.
I know most women
no,
want 50-50. But do you want this? I take care of the bills and blah blah blah, and then my hands are up, and everything else falls on you. Your desires professionally, your wants
that's
as
not
a family
gonna happen,
woman.
though. I don't think
blah,
so.
blah. I don't think you all want to say.
He's. The question is, do we want that?
Do you want
the answer?
Yeah.
Now, obviously, what I'm about to say, we are not a monolith, and
blah 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 blah.
Who's gonna disagree.
Right. What you think most women want?
I think most women would stay their ass the fuck home, especially women who have had careers.
But then they're not gonna do all that though.
You don't get a career.
No, I said if you've had one, and then you get posed the option of not working, you're like, absolutely, I'm good.
They're not gonna do all that though.
What do you mean?
I don't know what he just said.
How do you know that?
Cause they're not.
Who cooks and cleans now?
I cook and clean.
I'm talking about for women who have jobs. Who is cooking and cleaning for them now?
How you know the husband isn't?
I'm not. That's not the argument here. Y'all putting up shit that nobody even brought up.
No, I'm not saying that. Let me.
I
want to ask you this.
Yes.
I want to ask you this.
I didn't get my question answered.
When most people choose to stay at home and chill and not work,
of course.
So would fucking men.
Right.
Absolutely. My question though is, you have career aspirations. You have goals outside of popping out babies and washing dishes. But that's what you'd be subjected to if I'm paying all the bills and you don't get to do shit else. That's gonna fulfill you. Really?
And I think that's why my ex-wife worked those
for a few years. Yes.
For a few years.
Right. I mean, okay. To your point, even though this is not fucking supposed to be about me,
it's not about you. It's about women. Women, you put it in the chat. That's gonna fulfill you.
I think it would for a few years. Yes. To your point, we would eventually start looking for avenues to exercise our need to be in some maybe leadership position or on some kind of board or something. You maybe an OnlyFans.
But then that takes away from you taking care of the household.
It could or could not. I mean, if the kids are in school, I can go and be on a board at Lori Children's.
How many boards meet during the day, all day? I mean,
they all do, because the motherfuckers don't work. Like Lincoln Park Zoo board, I think they meet like 1 in the afternoon, because a lot of them are stay-at-home moms or executives who can work their schedules out like
most
that.
of our board meetings
so
9:30 in the morning.
Yeah, you can do that. So yes, I would, and I'm agreeing with you. At some point, I would get bored, and I would need to do something to get on board. Have a Etsy or something. I don't know. I don't know.
So my premise is this. I only asked that question, flipped it real quick, and now we'll turn it back to the original conversation. My premise, my only reason for asking that is this. That sounds great, right? Oh, my man, blah, blah, blah. He do this, he take care of me, blah, 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 blah. But you don't want to give up the shit that you've fought, earned, and shaved your underarm hair for.
Or grew it out for.
Whichever one. You shaved it off to go back in corporate America, but go ahead and go for it. For the position that you say you want. Here's what women want. Women want to have all that shit and me pay all the bills, right? And you still have your career, and you want me to do 50-50 on everything else in the house, but I'm carrying the weight of financially, and then your money is, when we take a trip with my money, I pay the cable bill of my money.
You're not lying.
I know this. No, I'm calling out the bull.
I honestly do think, again, I'm talking for women who have careers. If you never had a career, I am not talking about you. I cannot speak for you. Women who have careers, they would happily, for a few years, take the back seat. Just for a little while. But are you saying that women want their cake and eat it too? Of course, everybody wants their fucking cake and eat it too.
Well, I'm saying, but it's not realistic, is what I'm saying.
I don't disagree, but you're asking me what the fantasy is, and I'm telling you what my fantasy is.
All right.
I know it will not happen.
It could happen.
Well, damn, you just want me to dump Tony? Wow, babe.
Right.
Tony might fucking hit the lotto scratch off. I don't know what Tony goes to.
Flipping it back to you. So what is your situation? Is it 50-50? What do y'all do?
Yes, he's not rich, so yes, it's 50-50.
Oh, okay. So you don't mind, splitting the bills with them, and
clearly not.
Does he cook and clean too, or how's this set up?
Oh man, you gonna make me throw this man under the bus?
It's not. It's just a question.
Does he cook and clean? He will cook. Not as much as me.
Steaks.
That's true. Or fried chicken or fried pork chops. That is big facts.
Right.
Ain't a whole lot of vegetables in his repertoire. Sorry, babe. Does he clean? No.
Okay.
When company comes, he'll straighten his room.
Wow.
Does that count?
Sure. It counts for something. I guess.
Then he'll clean his room when company comes.
Okay.
But no,
and y'all don't have any kids, right?
We have children, but not together.
Okay.
So I'm gonna also put
y'all
this
gonna
out.
all make this shit about me.
No. I'm also put this out there. I'm just pointing out the bullshit. So most women say they don't want to do 50-50. They'll Miss Ramagos is saying that most women will quit their jobs. Cool. So here's the deal.
Okay.
I make $75,000 a year. I'm just putting it out there.
Y'all love giving these numbers.
I'm just making a number. I'm putting a number out there.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
If I make $1 million, $2 million a year, this ain't even really a conversation. To the point I'm about to make. I make $75,000 a year. Quit your job, babe. I got it. I carry the bills. But you got to live on the $75,000 a year salary.
Income, yeah.
Look at your face.
Does he have other?
No. Right. This is what I've got.
He said $75,000.
But I will carry every bill we got. But it's got to fit under the $75,000 cap. You cool with that?
No, I got to sell my house. No. If I didn't have a house, I could consider it, but I have a sizable house.
Let's say you didn't have a house.
Then I could consider it.
You would consider it?
I would consider it. If I love him and I trusted that he could build a life that I would be comfortable in, and I'm not saying I need to be carrying YSL and Hermes bags,
whatever.
Right? But if I could have a life that I'm comfortable in, I could probably.
So what is that?
I'd be scared as hell though. I'm not gonna lie.
What is that life though? What is that life that you can be
I
comfortable
don't know.
with?
I don't make $75,000.
But you just said you'd be comfortable with him if you felt he could build the life.
Oh, what is the comfortable life?
Yeah, what is the comfortable life?
Oh, well, if he's paying all the bills, I don't have to worry about anything getting cut off. If we could travel a handful of times a year, I realize he makes $75,000.
You go to Cincinnati,
right? So $75,000 is really.
We could go to the Bahamas. Plenty of people go to the Bahamas on $75,000 a year.
Sure. You go to Tulum,
right?
And the Bahamas, Jamaica, maybe Mexico. Sure. Yes. You can do that once a year.
Yes.
Sure.
So you wouldn't want him. You wouldn't want that to. I mean, like increase. I mean,
of course I would.
Right.
Would I want to say $75,000? I don't want to say it for $75,000 for myself. Of course, I'd want his to increase.
But my point is this. Women say that, but that dollar amount that man is making has to be of a certain threshold,
right?
Or you're not willing to make that sacrifice.
Well, duh. If you make $30,000 a year, that's not going to work.
Well, that's my point.
That's poverty.
That's my. That's why I didn't say $30,000.
Poverty.
$75,000 is a livable wage. It is a livable wage. But you all want a certain lifestyle. You're not willing to sacrifice what you want in order to get what you say you want a man to do, unless he makes a certain dollar amount.
Again, if you make $30,000,
You
you're
keep
in
going
poverty.
to 30. You keep going to 30. I'm not saying 30.
Because certain levels of income afford you certain lifestyles.
Yes.
Just true.
Right?
Hence the point. Hence the 50-50.
So, yeah, I'm not... look, I am in a 50-50 relationship, so clearly I'm fine with it.
Argue the other side.
What? To not be?
Yeah.
Oh, Tony, you pay all the bills then. I'm good. Y'all gonna get me cursed out.
No. But what I'm saying is, it sounds good in theory.
It does.
But the theory gotta be perfect for y'all, or you don't want to do it. And that's why.
And that's a problem for me.
And that's a problem.
Wait a minute. So I should be if I can stay at home, I should be fine with whatever your salary is.
If you want to stay at home,
even though
right.
I know what kind of life it's going to be.
If you want
Right.
to stay at home and you fall in love with a man and make a certain amount of money, and you know that's not going to afford you everything you want to do, every place you want to travel, blah 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 blah, you got a choice to make.
I would agree.
So I don't want to hear shit about being mad about 50-50 when you wasn't happy on being 100-0
When did
on
I
the
say I
salary.
was
That I'm
mad?
not talking about you.
Right.
We're not
Saying in
talking about
general.
you. I'm talking about in general.
Right.
I do not want to hear anything about what I'll carry 100% of it, but it ain't good enough for your 100. It ain't good enough for you. Not you personally.
I disagree.
How can you disagree with that? Where is the point of
To
contention?
his point, at some point, even for myself, I'm going to want it to elevate. I'm not going to
Sure.
want to stay at $75,000
Sure, we're not saying he's there
for
forever.
the next 30 years.
For the
That's
next
not going to work.
5 years.
What if he stayed at 75 for the rest of his life?
I mean, there's
Well,
cost of
first of
living
all,
increase.
there's inflation, so that's not going to work.
But there's a lot of people that don't get cost of living raises.
That is
Sure.
true. They probably shouldn't get married, quite frankly.
So now they shouldn't get married. Thank you. So they shouldn't get married. So what happened to
Sorry.
I love you regardless?
I didn't say you couldn't love somebody. All I said was, you was some full of shit. It's fine. You gonna let me take these bullets alone, even though you fucking fully agree.
What are you
with me.
talking about?
That's
I 100% disagree.
No, you don't.
100%
You a lie and a half.
100% disagree.
But no, if you are at some place that is not a livable wage, and I would argue whether 75 is a livable wage, but let's say
You said $75,000 a year is not a livable wage?
depends on your lifestyle. It does.
So, but I said that earlier.
If you have a modest lifestyle, it's
Then your
fine.
lifestyle has to adjust. Because you can't live off $75,000.
No, don't change the
a year.
subject though. Don't change the subject.
Could I
look
do
at
it
your
and
face.
I love you? Yes, I would.
But you wouldn't marry him.
That's probably also true.
Wow.
So let me ask you this. Look,
I love that this is turned on.
It has. I'm asking both of you. I'm still the host of this goddamn shit. I can ask questions. So, Dwayne, let me ask you this. Let's say my man's making $14 an hour. That's an
extreme.
far flung.
Good
Yeah,
Lord.
that's an extreme.
That is.
But let's say you're not as financially solvent as you like.
Mm-hmm.
You're still growing. You're still doing your thing.
Right.
You're chasing your dreams, whatever the case may be.
Are we talking about in our 20s or now?
20s, 30s.
Okay.
Let's not talk
We
about
not-
right now. By now, you should have attained.
So my thing, I've always used to tell people at 35, most men should be in their career.
figure out something.
Yeah.
But let's say whatever it is.
Right.
Let's say you took a hit, right? COVID shut your businesses down, and for whatever reason, you re-up it now.
Mm-hmm.
As a man is building, should he not date?
Ooh,
No.
that's a good-
I'm asking you. Should he not? Should you just?
No,
Should you just chill on the sideline
No,
until
I think-
you ready financially?
I think he should date.
Why?
Why wouldn't he date? So he shouldn't seek companionship. He shouldn't want to have somebody to spend time with. He shouldn't. He should.
I wish I could see our engineer.
He shouldn't want to have somebody that he can pillow talk to or whatever the case may be.
I'm gonna say this,
Here we go.
and it's not gonna be kind, but I'm gonna say it anyway. If
Just
you are
because he's building.
rebuilding, you need to focus on motherfucking rebuilding.
So you saying he can't focus? He cannot focus on building and still be in a relationship with somebody?
I would say, in that situation, relationships can be a distraction.
Depending on the individual.
Sure, everything's dependent on a lot of things, but a relationship would be a distraction.
Not necessarily true.
Now, if you want people to be, I'm gonna be nice today. I'm not gonna.
No. Don't be nice.
If you want somebody to be a cum dump, that's fine. Have your little cum dumps. But to be in an actual relationship, I think that is a bad idea, and you should focus on getting yourself to a level where you are comfortable before you start having a relationship.
So what if he found somebody that he could build with?
And he's still like at level 1?
He's still at rebuilding. He's at level 1.
Then I would say be friends with her until you get to a place where you can.
Wow. So you don't think she can help him get to where he needs to get to?
No, she's saying she shouldn't have to help his ass. That's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing. Wow.
Yeah. I'm not saying she shouldn't or should. What I'm saying is you need to focus on getting you where you need to be.
Let me tell you something, Sean.
Wow.
Let me tell you something.
Y'all was not ready. I'm sorry.
No, I was like, the cum dump was
that was.
I told you I was gonna be cool when you said say it. I was like, fuck it.
Let me tell you, and women say this all the time, and I 100% agree with it. Nothing solidifies, strengthens, pushes up a man further, faster, and better than a good woman.
A good woman, right?
Than a good woman.
Okay.
So maybe I'm right here right now, but I've got aspirations, I've got a plan, I'm working towards that goal. But if all I'm doing, if I've got no other release besides working and stressing and pushing and blah blah blah, I'm gonna get burned out, I'm gonna get tired, I'm gonna get unfocused.
You did hear the cum dump, right?
No,
but we're not talking about.
I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about just having sex.
I'm just saying there's your release.
I'm not talking about just having sex. I'm talking about a real.
We need more than just a cum dump.
A relationship.
We need emotional support too.
Somebody to bounce ideas off of.
We need somebody to talk to.
I have dated a lot of men, and here's what my experience is telling me, or has showed me. If he is in the middle of his come up, that's fine. You can date him then, because he's built some self-esteem. He's gotten some, what's the word I'm looking for? He's made some strides. Mm-hmm. That's when you can date him. If he is at the beginning, there's so much stress and so much shit he is dealing with that you then have to deal with.
Sure.
You have not dated a man who is building and has no money, and you do not understand.
I've never dated a man, period. So
you have not dated a man when he is under that level of stress. Mm-hmm. It can be really, really
taxing on you.
Difficult.
So I'm about to
That's
go
fair.
Here.
It's very difficult. If his self-esteem is low, if he doesn't know what's going on with him, I can't imagine your relationship will survive unless you are a really, really diligent woman and you are really committed to that man.
That's a fair point. That's fair.
But if he is on his way, I'm not even saying he has to be at the top, because then that's a whole nother place, right?
Conversation.
But if he is in the middle and he's making gains and
he
he
not
can
want to get
see
away
it,
at the top.
I agree. Don't get him at the top either, because he ain't shit then either.
I disagree, and I
talk to me.
I know this for a fact. We have a fraternity brother. I'm not gonna mention any names. Saw him.
Protect the innocent. That's right.
Saw him when he had nothing. Mm-hmm. Nothing. Met a beautiful woman when he had nothing. And like you said, she was his motivating factor. She poured into him. She literally lifted him up. Because he was one of those cats that would be sitting at home playing the video games, was working the 14-hour job, trying to figure it out. Trying to figure it out.
Let me finish.
And she put, I witnessed this. He has $100 million company now that they built together.
Do you realize you're kind of saying my point? Do you realize how?
No, she met him here though.
I understand, but do you I realize you don't know it because you weren't there. You just saw her being lovely and rubbing his head and patting his back.
True.
You have no idea what kind of shit she had to do, how much yelling she had to do, how much motivating she has to do. And unless you are a person who is driven to do that, that's a lot of emotional weight to carry. To ask a woman, ask anybody to carry.
Who said she had to really do that? We don't know.
If his ass was sitting there playing motherfucking video games every day, you cannot fucking tell me that she didn't have to do some harsh ass coaching to get his ass off that fucking computer.
She did.
And again, that is emotionally taxing, because you're not only dealing with your feelings around what's going on, but you're dealing with his too, and that is a lot of weight to carry. You have to be an incredibly diligent woman to be able to work through that.
I don't think he would have been the man he is today if it wasn't for her, though.
That's maybe true, but that does not speak to my point. That there is a lot to deal with when a man is
Ron,
right here.
Put up
And
Daryl's last.
if you want to do it, I'm not saying you shouldn't. Damn, now 50-50 is roommates.
Yeah, you damn right. We are roommates. Right. We are roommates. We share a fucking space.
Right.
Yeah, we are roommates.
I think you're roommates if you're not married. I would agree.
Bullshit. We roommates when we married.
Really?
That's trash. I completely disagree with that.
Yikes.
50-50 is roommates.
I don't think that's offensive. I mean, because even if you married, to your point, right, at some point, the shit ain't hot. Y'all probably sleeping in separate rooms and not having.
Why?
Eventually, it'll be like roommates.
Let's start here.
Why are you sleeping in separate rooms?
Let's start here.
Marriages go up and down. From what I heard, I ain't been married.
They do.
50-50 is a relationship.
I
Sometimes I'm going to be 70-30.
True.
Sometimes you're going to be 80-20. That's the nature of the beast. But at the end of the day, everybody puts all the 50-50 around the finances. It's so much more that goes into it.
And that is my question. That is one of my questions, right? Does it have to be all or nothing as far as finances? Can't you have a 50-50 relationship where you're managing the finances? That's your part. You doing all the finances, and her 50% is managing the house, managing the bills, managing the kids. Is that not also 50-50?
Hold on, I want to ask this question.
That's still 100% of him financially supporting the house.
But is that not 50-50? You're saying no.
No, it's not.
How?
Because she couldn't do none of that without his money.
Wait a goddamn minute. Now, y'all just sat here at the beginning.
Without his part.
That's a relationship, Ron.
No, you just said 50-50.
No. You cannot be in a relationship if everybody doesn't have responsibilities that they are taking care of. Now, you all just sat here at the beginning of this fucking show telling me that if he cooks it and if he cleans, then he's contributed. It is a 50-50.
No. That's not what I
That's
said.
what the fuck you did.
That's
say.
not what I said.
I would rewind the tape if we could.
That's not what I said.
Live. But what my point is why does the finances have to be where the equality is? Why can't the responsibilities?
Go ahead.
Why can't the responsibilities be where the 50-50
It does.
is?
To your point, Chantel, I agree. I'm not saying. Put
Gotta make you take my damn glasses off. Got me all hot.
You are right. There are other burdens to carry in a relationship that are financial. That if you're taking it off my plate, and I'm feeling the plate with the money, you taking care of a lot of other stuff. That could be considered 50-50. Sure. Here's where I pushed back in the beginning of this.
But we're talking financial anyway.
Yeah, we're talking finances.
Right.
But my question was going to turn into responsibilities. And you just gave an example where a woman was carrying 100% of the emotional load. Yeah, that shit was
I didn't say 100% because
again.
That sounded like
she was carrying a lot.
You did not date him. I guarantee you she was carrying 100% of the emotional load in that relationship.
So Sean,
and I would question what his 50% was.
Let me ask both of you all this. I don't keep saying Sean. I want to ask you this. So
now y'all want to just question me? It's fine.
No. This is
you in the hot seat today.
No. You're not. We all are.
It's good.
So I love it was three of us. So
you done lost your damn question.
No, I'm trying to think of how I want to frame it. So let me ask this, Dewan.
Right.
You got a woman at home, right?
Right.
She's not working.
Right now she is.
No. This is a hypothetical.
Okay.
She's not working.
Right.
No kids in the house at this moment, whether they be grown and gone, or you just don't have any, right? Okay. And she's taking care of home, and you're taking care of home.
Okay.
But she's taking care of the house.
Okay.
What do you think her responsibilities are?
Cooking, cleaning, I guess making sure dinner is ready when I get home.
Mm-hmm.
Being sexy when I walk through the door, I guess. I mean,
did you have this life?
Yeah, but I mean that was 20 years ago. Yeah.
But is that not what she did? When she was at home, was she cooking? Was she cleaning?
She did. And she also. Oh, we're not gonna get into that.
But let's not get to let's not get to the freaky stuff.
So she honored her responsibilities that you guys agreed
she
on.
Did.
As far
she
as,
did.
Okay.
She did. When she stopped working, she did.
And that worked for you.
It did. Shit. It did, and it didn't.
Elaborate, please.
Because at some point, I think I had issues with. She would call her and her mother wanted to go shopping. Hey, how much can I spend? Like her day was going shopping instead of being at home or
was this every
being
day?
on board. Quite a bit.
Okay.
And then when I was building the business, I was away a lot, because I initially was, starting the business out. I had issue when I came home one day. She's sitting in the window, crying, drinking a glass of wine, talking about she was waiting for me to come home.
Wow.
I
don't know what to say to that.
And when I opened the second business, I actually lost my second business because of her.
I feel like that's a different podcast.
Well, because she wanted me home more.
Okay.
Hey,
and you can't build a business.
Comment. Not that one. The one above it.
You can't build a business.
He's scroll up.
And not be
right there.
You have to be at your business.
Managing the business, right? But she thought we had got to such a level that I did not need to be there.
They are dependent.
So I think her mind sort of shifted because she was at home so much.
Okay. I mean, that's look, this is not my life. I imagine that is the truth. That's why I said at some point I would want to join a board. I would go coach cheerleading. I did coach cheerleading one time. I would do something.
So what if they don't have aspirations of joining boards?
And I guess that bitch at home drinking wine, waiting for you to get home, crying.
Hold on, I want to point this out. That Jess said, "He or she who makes the money makes the rules."
Ooh.
I don't disagree. I've never disagreed with that.
You wouldn't have a problem with that?
Now, when he said she would call and ask him how much money could she spend, your face shriveled up.
Because I actually think that's thought. Because what she could have done was she take the credit card and ran that shit up. Okay. She actually asked you, hey.
I was wondering where you were going with
that.
Yeah,
like she's like, hey.
She's asking how much
what are my boundaries?
I thought she was shriveling your face up because you're like, you don't ask that motherfucker how much you can spend. It's your money too.
I think that is thoughtful of her to be like, yo, well, I don't know what her thought process was, right? But she at least had the thoughtfulness and the foresight to say, hey, how much money can I spend? And then she sat in those parameters. I don't see a problem with that.
I was just making sure.
At all.
When your face frowned up, I thought you were going the other way with it.
That sounds fine to me. What's the problem with this?
I have to go back. Wouldn't you think that that's your money as well? So why would you ask?
I guess it depends on how you structure the relationship. My daughter goes to a very well-to-do private school. Mm-hmm. I have heard these women. One woman in particular talked about how she has no idea how much money is in a bank account. She is only allowed to give whatever his allowance is. She has no idea what they own. She has no idea how many houses they own, what their stock situation look like. That is her life.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Would that work for me? No. But that works for her.
But he's setting the rules.
He is setting the rules. And I don't...
He's removing that financial burden from a pretty little head.
That's some bullshit.
She don't even have to think about that, boo-boo.
She don't have a debit card.
Kathy to school, and I'm going to give you this little money to deal with when you go to Pilates and get a little iced cappuccino at the end of your day.
She had to ask for money to go grocery shopping, which is wild to me. That's wild.
So what?
Now, if you want to ask, like, babe, can I have $5,000 to go buy a bag? That kind of shit is fine. You got to ask permission to go buy motherfucking groceries. But all of y'all, that's wild.
Yes. I'm in agreement. I'm in agreement.
Yes. You agree that she needs to ask you permission to buy shit for the entire household.
She has to ask permission. She's got how much you need for groceries.
Right.
Y'all are tripping.
I give you a debit card. Now what you gonna do?
Run it up.
Run that joint up. I give you a credit card. What
she
you
gonna
gonna
spend $1,000 at Whole Foods? I mean, that's possible.
I don't know what. You think the only place you gonna go shopping is Whole Foods? See, I give a debit card that joint had $300 limit on that month.
You can't set a limit.
Cash card.
You can't set a limit.
I give her fucking whatever Russell Simmons.
Look, I do believe he who makes the gold makes the rules. I am a firm believer in that. I tell my daughter that all the time. And I think there's a way for you to make boundaries in a relationship, being the person who carries the finances without it feeling inequitable.
Sure, I agree with that.
And what I described is not equitable.
Okay, let me ask. So back to the question.
That's not true though. If you're saying she's taking care of home, isn't it? She's doing her part.
See, that's
still not equitable.
But that's why
she's being treated like a dependent.
Oh.
And if that's what you see her as, I guess that's fine.
So to I forgot who said it now. Was it Daryl? Daryl said 50-50 is a roommate, right? Mm-hmm. So 100-0 is a dependent then, right?
You just said that.
I guess if that's how your relationship is structured.
No.
Sure.
We talking about some very black and white shit right now. If 50-50
don't-
are roommates, women love to say that. 100-0, you my dependent then.
First of all, I didn't say it was roommates.
I didn't say you keep saying you. I'm not saying you. I'm saying women.
I don't think you should structure your romantic relationship with your partner as they're your dependent. I think that is a huge recipe to get divorced. Even if you are paying all the bills, that is not the structure you should create.
And you shouldn't structure your 50-50 as a roommate.
That's the point. We're not saying you're
Fine.
saying it.
I don't
We're not
disagree with
saying
you. I actually don't even like the idea of it being a roommate because as you pointed out, the shit's gonna be 70-30, 90-10,
right.
0-100. It's gonna be all ebbs and flows all the time. But I think what's important is equity. Does everybody feel like they have a say and have a part? Whether you pay all the bills or not, you need to feel like you are a part of the relationship. And if you're being told what to do, you are not an active part of the relationship, in my personal opinion. And that, in effect, is your
the goal makes the rules.
I'm not saying
you don't got to follow the
already said
rules
that.
because that might not be the relationship for you. Then.
Right.
Yeah, but I want to circle back to what I was asking DeJuan because he hesitated, and this is kind of why I wanted to ask this question. So when you got kids in the mix, that's another thing. That's another thing. But if you ain't got no kids, and your job is to take care of the house,
okay,
what you really doing?
I guess take care of the house.
No, you're not.
I'm saying,
you're not.
what you really doing?
I don't.
Bills going auto pay.
I don't know.
So this is the thing I had a problem.
I'm not gonna lie. I have no idea.
Ain't that many rooms clean?
So if you're
Every day.
if you're actually married to somebody that's wealthy, you're not doing anything.
I don't know because I'm not married to a.
I didn't even say wealthy. I'm saying if I'm $75,000 and you ain't working and I ain't got and we ain't got no kids, what you doing all day? We ain't got no
plants.
We ain't got no.
Because you don't have a lot of money to go out and just kick it.
Even if you did,
that's $75,000.
I mean, I'm not talking about that. Women make the well. I'm taking care of the house. Bills on auto pay. You ain't writing that no bills. Maybe you shit. Chase got a whole app that balances everything for you. What are you really doing?
I don't know. I guess whatever you all agree to do. All stay-at-home wives are not sitting around twiddling their nails.
What are they doing?
Kicking it with their girlfriends.
I'm asking.
I mean, I guess it depends
if you ain't
on
got no kids, what you doing?
I guess it depends on how much money you have. Because if you have a shit ton of money, then you have to manage.
But he said
it's
it's 75. He said, but
I would imagine.
But a whole house of people.
But that goes.
You got a house manager.
That goes back to what I was just about to say.
I'm yelling.
We're not yelling.
Why y'all yelling?
We just
talking. You just made
loud.
some trash up.
But that goes back to my point.
I have to manage.
If he's making
and the grass.
But I'm also saying I don't know.
But Brian, think about if he's making a certain amount of money. You're not cooking, you're not cleaning, you're not even taking care of the kids. You got a nanny.
Okay.
So realistically, all you're doing is probably fucking them.
What's the problem?
You're not taking care of nothing.
Therein lies the problem.
Aren't you taking care of his orgasm?
Listen. There we go.
Right.
Let's put that on.
I'm just saying.
That's the other part of women's. You think because you having sex with me, that's 25% of your job getting done right there, huh? Bullshit. You get sex too.
That decides you get half.
I wish men would stop saying that.
My penis is as valuable as your vagina. I don't care what you say.
Okay, I'm fine.
You can make an argument any way you want. I'm just telling you. You get some pleasure too.
Perhaps.
Hopefully.
I was gonna say maybe not.
Hopefully.
But that's not a guarantee.
But then that goes back still. You're not doing anything.
I mean, what?
So at 75,000, you're not doing anything, and at $1 million, let's say $1 million a year, you're not doing anything.
But what's not anything? I guess that's what I don't understand.
You're not cleaning. You're not cooking. If you got 75,000,
you got a prostitution.
You're not going.
That's what it sounds like.
It sounds like prostitution.
Sounds like prostitution.
You're not.
If your answer is, what am I doing? Having sex with my husband.
That's it.
Sounds like a prostitution.
I promise y'all will complain whether she is fucking you or she not fucking you.
It's not about a complaint. It's about calling out the bullshit, the inequity.
So we talk about equitable.
But this is my point. If those are the parameters of the relationship, right?
Then
how is
that's
it?
the parameter. We're not saying that. We're talking about if that's the parameter of your relationship. No.
Okay,
overall.
If we want to talk about overall, I highly doubt a woman whose man makes $75,000 a year and she's staying at home is doing fucking nothing in the house.
There's nothing for her to do.
Who's cleaning the fucking house? Because you can't afford a nanny.
So that's not much cleaning you're doing every day.
They're in a 3-bedroom apartment.
You're not doing that every day. You're not doing that every day.
How much cleaning are you doing every day?
Thank you.
I don't
That's my
fucking know.
point.
I don't live in an apartment.
That's
you
my point.
know what I'm asking.
That's my point.
You're not doing that much cleaning every day.
Every day.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is, I'm going to say this, that the only value a person can bring in, or a person can bring in a relationship is money.
Nope.
Because it's like, how much cleaning could you do?
No.
How much sex can you have?
What
How
I'm
many
saying-
grocery shopping trips can you take? What is my responsibility of the house? To take care of the house, right?
Sure. What I'm saying
And
is
quite frankly, I clean the house every fucking day. I clean the kitchen every day. I'll say
kitchen,
that.
thank you. Sure, because you cook every day. You might clean the bathroom every other day. A good clean, 3 days, whatever the case may be. You ain't vacuuming. Even
and
if
I wash every other day, by the
even
way.
if you are. Yeah, you washing clothes and then watching Oprah while the shit's going in the rinse cycle. You're not washing the shit by hand in a rock in a river.
Right.
let's be realistic.
Or scrub pants.
So to your right. Yeah, to
So I go back to my point
is this. My point
that
is this.
the only
no,
value.
that's what I'm about to ask you. That's what I'm about to answer the question. It's not the only value. What I'm saying is, well, I take care of the house. You ain't really doing a whole lot. Now, if you want to say you taking care of me emotionally.
Well, I would assume that'd be part of it too.
Yeah, I'm saying if you're carrying most of the emotional weight,
but you said that was a burden though.
If your ass is broke, it is a fucking burden.
But
if you're not broke, you're still carrying the emotional burden.
We can't win.
Right.
We can't win.
But if I'm carrying the emotional burden and I have to pay no bills, it's a much lighter load. But no, I mean,
then being broken,
unless
you only
making $75,000, then it's a heavy.
Then it's hard.
Then it's hard.
That nigga wasn't making nothing. He was sitting on the fucking couch playing fucking 2K.
Yes, that one
Not
dude.
you,
Yes,
but the dude.
But the life she has now is crazy.
Good for her.
And at least for the last 10 years or so.
I would not switch roles with her. If I had to go through that, good for her.
You don't know what she don't. We can't say what
you
I mean, I don't know. I can only presume. I'm sure she has a lovely life, and she's a lovely human. I don't know. You got me all fucking distracted and shit.
I know that's my job today.
Here's an interesting question. Going back to the emasculation conversation, right? Because we didn't really sew that up. So, I think we can all agree, right, that conversation was not constructive and was definitely not helpful because he was emotionally traumatized from that.
True.
Is there a way to have that conversation without emasculating a man? And if so, how do you do it?
Oh, I think based on the clip we saw, and again, I didn't see the whole thing, but I think there's nothing wrong with criticism, but it's got to be constructive. There's nothing wrong with, I think sometimes, we were just having this conversation at work today, sometimes you spare, honest, what's the quote? I can't remember what we said it was, but honesty is caring, right? So, that's not the quote, but when you have a open and honest dialogue that everybody's willing to listen to both parties, you're imparting wisdom in a non-judgmental way. You're giving me some steps to success without saying you ain't shit if you don't follow them. There's a lot of ways you can have construct and be honest, right? Like, you're not in a good space and you're probably not doing everything you need to be doing, but here's some ways you could be. Or why do you think you're not following up on these goals or your ambitions, right? Like, you have this dialogue and this conversation, and then you give them helpful, constructive criticism, and then you follow that up, right, with checking on how you doing, what's the progress, what's holding you back, man, what's going on,
what
blah
are
blah
your
blah.
blockers,
Yeah, what are your blockers? There's a way to have that without being like, well, man, if you ain't doing this.
But I think from what we saw, he wasn't doing that.
No, it sounds like
that's what I'm asking. What do you do?
But he just told you
that wasn't it.
It's constructive criticism. You impart wisdom. You set some steps out for this person to follow, and like you said, you follow up with him. You don't sit up there. You're not a man because you're making $14 an hour and you're not paying all the bills. I mean, okay, he's at a bad place right now.
So what is a man? Because I feel I struggle. Obviously, I struggle because I'm not a man, right? But I struggle with all these parameters of this is a man. You can't go to dinner. You can't. What is a man?
I can't go to dinner.
Yeah, I've heard that 2 men going to dinner is you're not a man if you go to dinner with another man.
So you can't go hang out with your boys.
So me and
I did not make the rules. I'm just telling you what I've been told.
So me and Dewan side after this, we're gonna go catch dinner at Park Supper Club. we not real men because we eating together as two men without
That is what
a
I've
woman's
been told.
presence.
That's what I've been told.
Okay.
That is interesting.
Okay.
I didn't say it made sense.
No, I'm just asking.
That's what I've been
I'm
told.
asking a follow-up question. So, what is a man? Is the question?
Yeah, I don't think we've talked about that. What defines a man? Is there even a way to define? Well, I mean, that's all. You're not a boy, okay?
By
You
Webster's
hit puberty.
definition, sure.
That's what a man is.
What is a man?
Jamal, what you think?
Somebody that's accountable for his actions, provides for his family, provides for the community.
But when you say provides for the family, that goes back to that.
Man, Ron was so in my brain.
That goes back to that financial part. Then dude can say he's not a man.
That's not necessarily true.
He's
still providing for his family, whether he's making $14 an hour or not. He's still providing something to his family.
Oh, so you need to just provide something. Does it have to be financial?
I just said provide for his family. Now you trying to put a financial.
Well, actually, Ron did.
You trying
to. But does it have to be financial? Does a man providing have to be financial? Can it be emotional? Can you provide? Can you provide the cooking and the cleaning? Would that still equate to being a man?
Ooh, I want that.
Now wait a minute. Now wait a minute.
I'm stuck on that.
Y'all all up in my ass a moment ago.
Okay, you hold on. Do you seem stuck on that? So hold on. You seem stuck on that
because I'm old school. Okay. So I'm stuck on that.
All right. So in your head,
right?
Finances have to play a part in being a man,
right?
Even though you tried to just dodge that like 5 minutes ago, but I digress.
I didn't dodge it. I just
you did. Like, no.
So you marry Halle Berry.
Oh my God!
Oh no, she take care of me. She take care of me.
So you gonna be a woman now?
Well, I gotta be a woman because she take care of me.
That's what I'm asking.
Because
she's making more money than I am.
You just said financials play a part in manhood. That's why Halle Berry got $60 million.
If you're not providing financially, according to your definition,
that don't mean he's still not a man.
Well, you got stuck on it.
I'm flipping it for Halle.
I need you to pick a position.
I'm flipping it for Halle Berry. I'm flipping it for Halle Berry. You said Halle Berry, so I'm flipping it for Halle Berry.
You gonna need to pick a position, my sir. You can't say no. You're not a man if you don't provide. But if it's Halle Berry,
let's say I'm still a man. It's not how Halle Berry's an extreme.
Yeah, my dad took care of everything. So I think that's where I get my work ethic from, my drive. I can't remember us never having what we needed at home because he was willing to work 2-3 jobs.
Sure.
When I was young to make sure we had. You know what I'm saying? So so.
Okay,
so you find a woman. You find a woman that makes. I don't.
300,000 because a lot of.
No. I'm not even. That ain't even a gang of money.
Yeah, it's not.
Let's say she making $15 million a year. She don't really need you financially.
She don't.
Shit, at 300, she don't need you financially.
She might, depending on the type of lifestyle she wants.
Facts. If she's
at 15, maybe even at 15, she wants somebody to make 100. But I'm just throwing that out there as a number. $15 million a year. Mm-hmm. You can't. Where you at right now? You're not really providing anything to her financially. Do you feel less of a man because you can't take care of her financial needs? They're already taken care of.
So what is my financial status with her making 15?
The same one you are
right now.
Oh, I'm good then. No, I still think I'm a man.
Damn, yeah, single women.
I'm good. Okay. I mean, no, I don't think I'm less of a man. She just doesn't need, other than dick. That's all she needs. I don't have to pay a bill because she makes $15 million.
She might pick up some of yours.
I don't need her to pick up any of mine, but if she did,
that's a bridge too far.
That's too. Yeah.
All right,
don't try to run. Oh no, my buddy.
What's
a man? He already is all old school and patriarchy.
Right.
And apparently, if you cook and clean, you a female. A man. What is it?
I just say all that because I could too. I would.
Yeah.
You alluded. It's fine.
I think only a man can define what manhood means to him.
The specific man?
The specific man. The specific man. Not men in general. Yeah, only I can define what's manhood to me.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can disagree with me, but to me,
that's true.
This is what makes. So to me, since we're being specific, what to me makes a man is his character, taking care of his responsibilities.
Okay.
how he treats the people in his life. To say that a man shouldn't have some drive and ambition to him, absolutely. He should have some emotional intelligence. He should have some vulnerability.
But that's more lately now, emotional intelligence.
But I think men should have this as well. I think that's where we mess up drawing these lines. I think men need these things as well
definitely
to be fully well-rounded human beings. When it comes to the finances part, I don't have anything against a man taking care of bills and being 100% provider. If that's your thing and that's what floats your boat, do it. I don't have a problem with a man being the house husband. If
Berry,
take.
You've been flip flopping for the last 10 minutes.
All these roles.
Halle Berry.
Women we go for Halle Berry. Halle Berry could be fries McDonald's right now.
Right.
Halle Berry. But all these things that we say women's supposed to take care of. If a man is comfortable in his manhood and doing that, and his woman is cool with that, I'm cool with that too. But mainly, what a man should be to me is a role model for his kids.
Right. I agree. 100%.
And that could take a million different shapes and forms, but helping those kids become responsible, well-rounded, contributing members of our society is a man's biggest responsibility. But I also want to put this out here too. I think men have a responsibility, not just men, but men in particular, because so many of our communities are blighted by a lack of manhood because they're in jail or whatever the case may be. They've not abandoned their families. Sadly, you have a responsibility to your community as well to get out there and give back and mentor and tutor and whatever else you're doing. Showing not just who's in your household. That's your responsibility, number one. But number two, getting out there and showing these younger men, these young boys, what real manhood is. And not leaving it to our women to try to figure that out.
So I got a question there for you, Brian. What I find in this conversation I've had with some close friends who are fairly well off too, we tend to move out of the community once you make a certain amount of money.
Sure.
And I think even though you're saying we need to go back to the community, you're not really showing, because that's maybe a day here, maybe 2 days here or there that you're going in working with some kids or whatever, but they really not getting to see how you actually live.
Oh my God, he's channeling Chantel.
So, and the issue I had years ago, argued with my friend, the one that's his company is so well off. But I saw where he came from, because he came from Inglewood. He used to live on the street for a while. You know what I'm saying? So, and I understand wanting to move into gated communities and stuff like that. But I do believe that we lost that community. I'm missing the word of experience, or with not having the Brian Foster living next door to the teacher.
I get what you're saying.
Or living next door to the garbage man.
That's what you're saying.
Still in Inglewood versus being in Homewood, Flossmoor, or Frankfurt, and $500,000, $1 million home.
I don't like the way you just put my community up.
Next,
That's right. Call him out.
Next to
don't call me out. I live in South Shore.
Well, I'm in the south suburbs too. So, but
so you talking about yourself too?
I'm talking about myself. But that was my fight, even with my ex-wife. I wanted to stay in the city.
As did I.
And it became the battle of
I want better.
I want to be out here. I need some room. I don't want to live, I don't want to be around
niggas.
Right. I didn't want to say that, but
I'll do it for you.
Yeah, but
that's fair.
Yeah, but so and I think that's where we lost all these kids. And going in just to say, oh, let me show you this today, let me show you this tomorrow. They're not really seeing you, get up and.
That's an excellent point. It's a struggle, because, and what I just mentioned earlier, your number one priority is your family.
It is.
And you want to provide better for your family. Sure, you want to be
for yourself.
Yeah, for yourself. You want to be a role model in your communities, absolutely. And if there was more opportunity, this is Chicago specific, but it does really rear its head very ugly in Chicago.
Right.
There aren't a lot of mixed income communities, because here's the truth of that matter: let's say I stayed in Inglewood, or let's say Chantel stayed in South Shore, right? And she just built and rehabbed this beautiful home.
Right.
If everybody on her block kind of did that, guess what happens to that tax bracket? It goes up. And those folks that you want to be around to kind of showcase for it, they still can't live.
They can't afford it.
Yeah. So it's a thin line between me being in the community and showing what's going to happen in Woodlawn. Right. That's what happening in Bronzeville, right? It's a thin line between I want to do better for me and still live the way I want to live, and not push out the people I'm trying to be around in the first place. So it is tough, and I know that coming in back 2-3 times a week might not seem like a lot, but right now, nobody's coming back. I'm not gonna say nobody. Do it. A lot of I know. I'm saying a lot of people aren't doing it.
Right.
So for them to even see somebody come back that doesn't live in a community, that cares about them enough to come back and spend that time means something. Sure, you want to be that next door neighbor. Man, Mr. Foster over there doing it. I could do that too.
Right.
But it's such a thin line between how much are you willing to, and this is why I always say that as a people in America particularly, I don't know how far we'll ever get, because. And I put myself in this boat. I don't know how much we're really willing to sacrifice. Personally.
And that's where the problem lies.
Proud of you for admitting that.
Yeah. But that ain't the point of this conversation.
Well, I mean,
I love a good detour. This is a good detour. Yay!
We'll get back into finance or something.
But we were talking about what a man is. So I think that a man is defined by his actions and what he defines a man is as himself. Nobody should be able to define manhood for you.
True.
Okay.
And when it comes to the woman, you got to find a woman that agrees with that definition of manhood for you.
Do you?
If
you're gonna be together,
if you're gonna be together,
yes.
Yeah.
But why does I'm about to ask a very odd. Why does she have to agree with your definition of manhood for y'all to be together?
Because if I can get back to you. If we're not aligned on what that is, she's looking for this, and I'm giving this, we can never be on the same plane.
Yeah, but you're married,
sure,
right?
Are
you trying to tell me you and your wife are aligned in all realms?
No, I'm not saying that.
So
what I'm saying is that if she and Allison, love you, I'm sure you're watching. There's some things I think she defines as manhood that I don't check boxes on.
Right.
I can't fix shit. It's not my wheelhouse. It's not my strength.
But that's my point. Do we have to align on that?
But I'm not saying we have to be perfectly symmetrical, but we got to be in the same space. Right?
All right.
Like if it was a hard, you got to be able to build a carburetor for me to be with you, and I can't build a carburetor, but that's a hard line you got, then we wouldn't work out.
So I'm about to throw this on you, Shanti.
Look, I'm gonna say this. I'm sorry, Tony. Sure. It's part of the conversation. I have to say it. What I think is a man and what Tony thinks is a man are completely divergent.
100%. 100%.
Like 85%, we do not align on what we think that is. But
interesting.
I respect his position on what a man is because I am not one. Mm-hmm. Right? I think some of his positions are a bit archaic, but I also understand the era he grew up in. I grew up in a similar area, and I can respect what he thinks without aligning with it. I can say, that's fine. You can have that position. I think it's a little misogynist, but fine, whatever. I think it's more about respecting people's positions than it is being in alignment when it comes to that. Now, I do agree there are many other areas where you need to align. Finances, how the household's going to be run, who's responsible for what. Those are the areas you need to align on. I don't need him to align on what he thinks a woman is, because I'm pretty sure whatever he thinks it is, I am not.
But I got to agree with Brian. It's going to be rough on a relationship if you see your man one way and he sees himself a different way. Don't you think?
No, because I think people. I say this all the time. People have the right to see you how they want to. People have the right to take whatever Chantel they want to take.
Right.
I don't have to take that on. So there are people who will meet me and think I'm a delight. Mm-hmm. There are people who will meet me and think I'm a complete bitch. There are people who will meet me and think. There are people who will meet me and think I'm boring. All of them are right.
None of that. I can't see none of that.
But you will meet these people, and I was talking about this to a friend the other day, how people see me, and it's very interesting. But I don't get involved in how you see me. You're allowed to see me however you want, because him too. Everybody, my mother, everybody is allowed to see me as the way they want.
So I gotta ask. That's interesting.
Yeah, it is.
That's an interesting kid. Okay, so
I was about to say something.
Now, what's important is, do you respect me? Do you appreciate the parts of me? However you see me, do you appreciate that? And do you honor that? To me, that's more important.
Isn't that somewhat aligning? Or are you accepting?
Perhaps.
Or are you accepting?
Maybe.
Right. That was where I was gonna go with it. D. It's like I might expect different things from my woman and womanhood than you provide or present, but it's not enough of a deterrent for me not to be with you. So they must not be those closely held to my chest.
Probably. I mean, I think when you get in relationships, you have to make decisions. We have all these long ass lists. You saw my list,
sure.
Right? Did Tony hit all of my list?
Did he hit any of it?
Yes, he hit some.
Oh, that's right. He's over 6 feet. Got it.
He hit about 50%.
He hit a lot of this.
But you have to. At some point, you have to.
But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about your wants and desires. It's like,
but
I want my mate to be kind. I want my mate to... I'm talking about what I think a woman's role in my life is.
But isn't that part of it too? You want the man to be strong. You want them to pay bills. Like, there are things that we equate to being a woman or a man that is part of our list. At some point, if you're in a relationship with this person, you have to make concessions for the things you cannot get out of them.
85%.
That's a lot.
I think you're exaggerating. I don't think that's a lot.
I wish he was here. I wish, Tony, if you in the comment, if you watching, please comment.
He ain't gonna comment.
I'm right.
That's a lot.
85% is a lot.
That's a lot.
But I'm very, very progressive. So it should not shock anybody. No, not at all.
Oh, wow.
But he can't be that not progressive. He couldn't fuck with you.
Again, you've met him.
This is what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is
he's making concessions.
Everybody
I think he's making concessions.
Everybody makes concessions.
Huge concessions.
I wouldn't say huge.
That's what I'm saying.
Huge. If I can accept you for who you are and respect who you are, and let me be clear, this is not me. What's the word we always say? When somebody's broken and you date them anyway.
Settling.
Yes, that's not me settling. That's not a settle. But what I am at a point in my life is I can respect where people are.
Right.
I totally respect where he is. Does he grow the longer we stay with each other? Absolutely.
Sure.
Do I think he's ever going to get to where I am? No. But he has so many other wonderful qualities that are not about being a man or being a woman, just about being a human being that I respect and appreciate. Whatever archaic, misogynist points of view he has about being a man don't matter.
But then he can't be forcing those points of view on you.
He doesn't.
Then that's what I'm trying to get.
I mean, but we just talk about it, and I know where he is, and I'm like, oh, that's weird. But
he can't be that tied to it because he's not holding you to those standards.
Right.
That's
about what a woman is.
Yes.
His misogynic views.
Yeah, if he was that misogynistic.
Oh, with me, no, he couldn't possibly.
But that's what I'm saying. So he might think this is what it is, but he can't possibly really think that's what it is, or y'all wouldn't work out.
Because if he was truly misogynistic, you would be having problems.
I'm not saying he's like the misogynist of all misogynists.
No, we're not saying that.
We're
not saying that. We're not saying that.
But he would have to say, I don't know. I don't know what percentage of woman I am for him. I don't know. If I had to take a guess, I think 20, because I'm not the most feminine motherfucker in the world.
I think you're shorting yourself in where he sees you in womanhood.
I think what I bring to the table, he values.
Sure.
And whether that's in femininity or masculinity or non-binary, it's what he wants and needs.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you. It's to your point. Alice and I have had these conversations, and I know there's some things she sees that a man should do in a role in a house that I don't do. Oh,
and on top of that, I don't do that to him. We don't sit around having conversations about, this is what I expect a man to do.
No.
I don't. This is what I expect a woman to do.
This is what I expect.
Do that.
This is what I expect you to do. Or this is what I would hope you would do. Right. And a lot of that carries over into, this is what I expect a man to do.
It is an expectation.
You just happen to be my man.
It is an expectation, though.
You just happen to be my man.
I gotta think about that. I'm just thinking about conversations we had, and I can only speak for me. I cannot speak for him. What I have always asked from him is not in a space of being a man. Like, I'm not a person that's like, I need you to get my car washed, because that motherfucker don't do it. Or I need you to take the trash out. What I do need is for you to be responsible for something in this house, or some things in this house. Now, if they fall into the man category, fine or whatever.
But they don't have to be.
But if he cleaned all the time, which is not quote unquote a man, that would be totally.
That's what
fine.
I'm saying. That's.
But
I don't want to define buckets by cooking and cleaning is a woman's thing. Washing the car and putting gas on is a man thing. That's not what I'm saying.
But that is what we are doing.
No. What I'm saying is you have wants and needs you need from your partner.
Yes.
Man, woman, or otherwise.
Yes.
In your case, they're men.
Right. For now. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
A little bit truth in that joke.
I'm fiery today.
But that's what you need from your significant other.
Yes. But what I'm saying is, I don't think they're in a spirit.
It doesn't have to be. It does. Okay, I see what you're saying.
It's not like I need my man to.
But you do.
Well, that's because he is a man.
That's my point. That's all I'm saying.
I think you're missing my point.
I get your point. But I'm just saying my point is you're not putting it in buckets of this is what defines manhood. You need to do these certain things because you my man and you are a man.
But subconsciously you are.
Yeah, you're saying that.
Maybe. I have to think about it a little because I'm thinking about what I've asked of him. And for me, without getting into a bunch of detail, I don't think they're in the spirit of being a man. I don't think they fall into traditional, maybe a few do, like the garbage. I'm not going to lie. I don't like taking out the garbage. But there are other things I do. So I'm like, he's like, fine, I'll do the garbage. Sure. And that's fine.
So is that 50-50?
For us, it is. For us, it is. Okay, maybe garbage and he takes care of the yard. Those are quintessential man things. So I guess in those instances, sure, they fall into traditional man tropes.
I'm not cutting any grass.
He pay people to do it.
Right.
Glad you said that.
Here we go.
Glad you said we coming up on time, so I'd love to end the conversation on this actually.
You're a fucking mess.
So if women vary on this as well. To D's point, I will cut the grass. I prefer not to do that shit. In my mind, every hour I spend cutting grass, trimming hedges, blah 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 blah, is money I could have been making doing other shit.
Pay somebody to do it.
Pay that $50 I just paid you. I'll make $300 while you was doing it.
I respect it.
All right, or I might just be sitting around watching the game, eating a sandwich.
Right.
Either or. But if let's say your definition of a man is doing those things, he ain't really in for doing them. But he taken care of. It's getting taken care of. He just not the one physically doing it.
Then you have a decision to make.
I'm asking, not you again, not you specifically.
You asked me for speak for the women.
For speak for the women, right? Is that okay? Is that cool? Or you got to see me out there sweating, pushing the lawnmower
with a shirt
clearly? Whoa! Clearly, for those women, it is important. Why? I cannot explain why. But I mean, we all have things that may or may not make sense to other people that we say we need. And as irrational as they may be, we need them. Because whatever psychologically is there for us, it whether it makes us feel good or makes us feel feminine or there's a whole range of reasons. If that's what you feel like you need, and that's literally a need, not a want, but a need, then why be in a relationship where you know you're going to bring that up constantly, knowing that nigga's not going to do it? To me, that's illogical. You know he's not going to do it. Why would you all sit yourselves in a situation to set up an argument?
Yeah.
You know you're not going to fucking do it. Just like you know she's not going to fucking clean every day. Why would you set yourself up for an argument? You either move on or you accept that person the way they are.
But I think at a certain level, you're not cleaning every day anyway.
I just said. I promise you.
You're not cleaning every day.
I'm going to tell you something. Tony is constantly talking about how I'm cleaning the countertops. He was like, you don't let a fucking spot of water move out inch. I'm like, I don't. So if I'm there, I'm fucking cleaning. Now, am I cleaning the entire X amount of square feet every day? No, because that's a lot of fucking work. But do I do some housework every single day? Absolutely. Absolutely. There's some housework being done. Okay. Every single day. I don't see how you live life and not do some type of housework every day.
A different show, but let me ask you this real quick.
Oh Lord!
We got to wrap. We got to wrap.
Ron is over us.
We are at time. But hold on, we are always.
As always, I'm still.
As always, final thoughts. When it comes on this subject of is 50-50 a man? What makes a man? This whole conversation about it's really centered around financial responsibilities and manhood. Where do you land?
what I told her earlier, I think it just depends on the household and the situation, their financial situation.
Oh
as a
no,
couple.
nigga, you already got yourself. No, my brother, no.
This is final thoughts. This is final thoughts.
Final thoughts.
Do the same thought that you had 25 minutes ago.
Maybe he grew during the show.
No, but cool, whatever.
Yeah, so that's where we're gonna finish that at. Whatever works for that household. And Brian's definition of
They caught your ass up.
Your final thought, that's
They caught your ass up. Sean?
I'm sorry, what am I supposed to be answering?
Final thoughts around 50-50 financial responsibilities.
I have always thought, I understand the point of the conversation. I understand it from a couple of different lenses, right? And I've told you this as far as relationships between men and women and why there's so much discourse. Everybody is really trying to safeguard themselves from being used, right?
True.
So these conversations just sound like ways for people to find value, right? Whether it's she don't want you for your money, she taking a coffee date, or he's buying you an Hermes bag. These are all conversations about show me that I'm valuable in X kind of way. And I think if we stop putting it on these things, right? A fucking date, how much you spend on dinner, all this stuff is just is noise when really everybody just wants to be valued and everybody doesn't want to be used. And I would just love if people would just get to a point where they can be honest and say, hey, I want to know that you are into me. Let's have a conversation about that and get to the point of that and move forward from there.
It's good. It's a good point.
I'm smart sometimes.
You do. You got some smart points occasionally.
All right. 50-50.
So, man, listen. So, as I started the show out saying, we argued and disagreed and raised some points. You got to do what works for you. And if you want your man to carry that financial burden and that makes you feel taken care of, provided for, protected, more of a woman, and that's what you need, go for it. Make that happen. If you as a man, you feel that's your responsibility, it makes you feel more manly, masculine, taking care and providing for your family, that's how you were raised, go for that as well. What I don't want folks to do, kind of to your point, Chantel, is I don't want folks to miss their blessings, give up on a good person, because you have this view of what should be, could be, and not really looking at what is. So, again, 50-50 financially, it's not roommates, that's a partnership. And even if it's, and let's be frank, it really depends on how you handle your money, right? If it's all going into one big pot, it's all y'all's anyway. Yep. So it ain't really, there's really no 50-50 at all. And to me, the way I move, whether I make twice as much or twice as little, it's all our money, and we got to move and build and shape and shake together as a unit. And if we not doing that, if you too worried about he paying this and I'm paying that, then y'all probably not building the way you should be building in the first place.
I agree. Yeah.
And that's a shaky foundation to even be trying to set up a future. So,
totally agree.
You know, I don't want folks to think that finances, as important as they are, right, are the end all be all. But at the end of the day, you got to move how that makes you comfortable. But I say it all the time: don't block your blessings. Worried about something, he make 150 and you make 100 and you want him to pay all the bills. You better cut that shit out.
You just brought that shit right back to finances after saying don't let block your blessings.
No, what I'm saying is,
damn it!
But you let me have it.
First of all,
no.
You dug your own motherfucking grave. You trying to bring your ass up out. Like,
anyway, y'all, thanks for joining us. Appreciate everybody in the comments. Love you. We will see you next week. What we thinking about doing next week?
That's a really good question. I don't know. Look, I always tell you guys give really good suggestions.
They do.
I do have a long list, so I'm probably going to look through that. But if you have something interesting, if something was on Instagram or Facebook, and our Facebook group is real lit. So if you ain't in there, you need to go in there because they are hot.
In the Zone Podcast.
Fucking mess.
Follow on In the Zone Podcast on Facebook, In the Zone Podcast on YouTube, ITZ, what's Instagram?
Podcast.
ITZPodcast on Instagram. Follow us on all of those.
I know what I am sick of. I'm sick of talking about you niggas. We've had like 4 shows in a row talking about men. I'm sick of y'all.
You came up with 3 of them topics.
I know, but
then the women show you canceled.
True.
So
It's true.
So now that's your bullshit. you want to talk about some women stuff next week?
Yeah.
Put some fire on some women.
Maybe some kid stuff. I don't know. I'm sick of talking about men.
I'm sick of being talked about. All right, y'all. We will see y'all next week. Peace.
Thank you.